Hey, New Life. My name is Tex, and I'm the student ministry director here at New Life. And I am so excited to be able to come and share some stories in my own life here. As we get into week 2 of this Advent series, I'm so beyond excited because as we've been kind of witnessing in the midst of this series, we're kind of talking about the miraculous. We're talking about these things and these moments in which only can be explained because God decided to show up. And so I hope you and we see that not only in your life, you can look around and see these moments, but I want to just take a moment and share even in my life. So if we could rewind, let's go back to January of 2020. And let me tell you, when my wife and I, we'd spent years, we'd been married over 7 years at that point. We spent years, about 7 years, praying for God to bless us with a child. And unfortunately, throughout those 7 years, that just wasn't happening. And so in the midst of that, we decided we were going to start stepping into adoption, which is an exciting, incredible journey. And we were so stinking excited to do so. And then this little thing happened called the pandemic. And so in the midst of 2020, we started kind of getting pushback and getting told, you're going to have to wait and not as many people are having kids and all these things. And so years started to roll by since we started this process, and it just wasn't happening. And here we hit into 2022, and we started to wonder, is this what God wants? And more than anything else, we prayed and felt like God had put this on our hearts. And slowly but surely, God was laying some stonework in our life. We had no idea. And so we got this phone call out of the blue from a lawyer that essentially said, hey, I got your name through a friend of yours, through a friend of your wife's, essentially about this child. And so in the midst of it, we had no idea, but we got a connection through some family friends that had adopted a sibling of this child. And they weren't able to take on more, but had shared our story, shared our situation with them, and said, you guys should connect. And so here we are. We meet this beautiful baby girl. And so here we are. We're just months away now from finishing our adoption process. And in the midst of that, let me tell you guys, it has been a wild and crazy journey that only God showed up. In the midst of this year-long adventure, when we began 2022, we were wondering if we were ever going to even have any kids. And here we are in the process of having 2. And so, man, God has just shown up and done some incredible stuff. New Life, I can't wait to hear your stories and how God has shown up. We'll talk with you soon. We love y'all.